has again restated its determination to carry on with implementing the 18-year age limit for those that sit for West African Examination Council, National Examination Council, and Joint Admission Matriculation Board examinations in the country in 2025. Recall that there has been ongoing debate among Nigerians since the government declared their stand regarding the policy. Speaking during a controversial visit by the leadership of Congress of University Academics to his office in Abuja, the Minister of Education, Professor Tahir Rahman, said there is no going back regarding the policy. Just as he said, the policy is not new. The minister disclosed that the move was to ensure that proper things are done, especially in ensuring the intellectual development of the future generations. Professor Maman accused the elite of being the brain behind the clamor against the age limit for writing examination, while he added that most private universities in the country are equally guilty of same.
We didn't come up with a new policy. All that we did was to remind people of the admission age under the present system. Typically, anybody can calculate the years the child is expected to be in school. Early education is how long? Is it 5-6 years? You take maximum 6, 5. Primary school, 6. Basic education, level part of basic education, 3 years. Senior, 3. By the time you add that, you have 17 and a half.
On the demands by the leadership of the Congress, the minister expressed concern regarding the multiplicity of unions in the education sector, but promised to look into some of these demands. Earlier, the National President, Congress of University Academics, Amrejni Sunono, has listed without salaries, third-party deductions, 2014 Pension Act, Constitution Needs Assessment Committee as some of its demands.
The continued withholding of 3.5 months salaries of members of CONA due to strike action embarked upon by the sister academic union in the university in 2022 is unfair. Our union maintained that it never declared and was never part of any strike action. What the government has done, and which we find disturbing, was to lump together those who embarked on strike and those who did not. We consider this unjust and is tantamount to punishing the innocent along with the guilty. Through this unwarranted punishment of CONA members, the government is inadvertently promoting the use of strikes as a means of pursuing workers' demands.
Thank you so much for staying with us. If you are just joining us, this is FIRECRACKERS. We've missed quite a lot, but you could catch up with us on our Facebook page. We stream live on Facebook. And now we have joining us live from Lagos, coming Azam Akintoye, the MUT Chairman, Lagos State. Good evening and thank you so much for joining us today on FIRECRACKERS. Okay, alright, it seems he might not be with us at this time, so we'll definitely be coming back to him as the show goes on. So now to Dr. Omodele, what are your thoughts about the federal government age limit? Because according to the Minister of Education, he is insisting that the rule is not new, the law is not new, rather, it has always been in place. And then I think it might even be surprised why a lot of Nigerians are putting up a fight about it. But what are your thoughts on the age limit for writing WAEC, NECO, and JAMB?
You see, the policy claimed to be initiated is not a good policy for educational development in this country. We are not in colonial era. You ask a prospective who is in school to measure before he gains admission to enter primary school and secondary school. We have gone beyond that. Then you see, aside from that, you are saying they are saying that the candidate will not be allowed to write WAEC and NECO until the age of 18. That is not fair. It is not fair in the sense that if a candidate writes exam at the age of 18, maybe probably like 18 or 19, he gets admission. He spends 4 or 5 years graduate, that makes it to be around 24 or 20 or 23. Then he goes to NYC, running to 25, 26. Then from there, he starts looking for a job. Now, and They say the limited age to vote in Nigeria is 18 years. Good and fine. But the limited age to write WAEC shouldn't be 18 years. In the sense that if you are 18 years and above, you can contest. So if it is the age you are to contest, that you are going to write WAEC, how do you manage to do that? So, then, aside from that, you see, some candidates may write exam. They will not make it at the first instance. It may be the second time or the third time. So if a student is waits till 18 years, that is 18, doesn't make it 19, 20, 21. You see how it will affect. Then aside from that, now people say an idle brain is the devil's workshop. If a candidate sits for an exam, NECO or WAEC at the age of 15 or 16, bravely he passes the exam and gets admission immediately. Within a period of 2021, he graduates. Then he pursues further. Then he will be able, maybe he's interested in politics. Between the age of 27, 29, 30, he contests. Good and fine. Then, or he has political appointment from 27, 28, good and fine. But when you now say the age is 18, from 18 he starts planning his life after sitting for WAEC or NECO. That is not true. If a candidate gets to, let's say, 15 years, 16 years, which he or she should have written an examination like NECO or WAEC, he doesn't have it. Such a thing may change such a student's mind to involve in crime. And then, by doing that, that means such policy to be introduced will increase crime rate.
Okay, all right. Now let us have the view of the Nigerian Union of Teachers Chairman, Lagos State, Comrade Azan Akitoye. Once again, good evening and thank you so much for joining us on Firecrackers.
Good evening. I think you can hear me.
Yes, I can hear you now. Okay, all right. So the topic we have at hand, what are your own views about the federal government insisting on the 18-year age limit for students to write JAMB, WAEC, and NECO?
I don't think my view will be as much different from the view of who is your guest. I want to speak as an individual, a parent, not necessarily speaking on behalf of the union. And I'm also speaking as an educator who is a practitioner. Where did we get to where we are? If the government says the law is not new to the system, fine. Where did they get it wrong? That the law suddenly become an aberration. It is because everything about our society, in terms of policy, in terms of program, in terms of law, have been abandoned at the level of even the government officials themselves. And that is where we find ourselves. You know, my brother in the studio has highlighted so many reasons why it cannot be different. Pardon, I can't hear you. Hello? Hello?
Yeah, I can hear you. Please go ahead.
That it cannot be different from what is obtainable in the global world. That what is the global practice. And that is what we will all look forward to work towards. That what is the minimum age for younger children to enter university across the globe, because we must align ourselves with the global practice. So I am of that opinion. But every law and every program and every policy is local. It is local. You must adapt it to your own situation and ensure that things work. So, look at it. You said a younger school leaver must attain age of 18. And eventually, even when it graduates, it will be over age. And that employer out there is already setting age limit. It's already setting age limit for employment. And no, the government, who is so critical about determining the entry age into university, has not deemed it fit over the year to sanction establishments that put age limit into employment situation. You see, this is the kind of confusion we have found ourselves. The university is not running. The government is ongoing discussion with ASU to prevent lacuna. And at the end of the day, this younger generation are the victim of this opportunity. Let us now realize that if they want to come back to the status quo, then it has to kind of and probably go back on the basis of those who are new, just into the entrance, and we now start from them. And most of those things that we have gotten wrong, then we start correcting them. Can they imagine a particular student that is about to write WAEC now, you now step him or her down for like 2 or 3, 4 years? Are you doing good to such a child? What will become of him or her in the next 3 years or 2 years? You see, we should begin to, be serious in this country. Where such law is followed to letter, they have arrangement in place that we engage this younger generation in such a way that they won't lose anything. And the system is already even in place to assist them to achieve their aspirations in life at a particular time, in a particular place. It's a policy that I think we all need to sit down together. If you want to go back to the status quo, then there must be a strategy about it.
Thank you very much for that, sir. So, but since we have ASU, the ASU seems to be in support of this age limit. Do you think that perhaps they could have some reasons that whoever is stepping into the university grounds or even tertiary institutions for that matter should have attained some degree of maturity, which to them seems to come of being 18 years? Do you think that perhaps there might be a point in that? Because some people, in fact, some parents always fear peer influences, peer group influences on their children. But perhaps they might be of the opinion that if the child is a little bit older, the child might be able to tell differences between right and wrong, and may be much more better equipped to make right decisions.
Yeah, I know there is a relationship between child development and age. So, ASU position is not quite wrong. It's something that is very vital, but there is no way we can consider the factor they put forward in isolation. Their position is based on their experiences. Their position is based also on the circumstances that we have found ourselves. If I could remember, the ASU president cited an example whereby the accommodation facilities in a higher institution has collapsed. So students have resorted to, renting houses around the institution. That has become business for those who have money to put houses in place around higher institutions to make money, you see. And for a young, school leaver who has not tasted freedom before, such a child needs to be matured, no doubt about that. But if things are working, and most of the higher institutions, if they are residential, so that this younger one at least have to take care of even the gifted child, that our system removes from our society when they identify any of such out of our system. And we are now saying because of age, we will not, or we rather suppress such a gifted child just because of age. You see, the position of ASU cannot be faulted, but it is within the analysis of the environment, we now suddenly find ourselves where things are not working. Why can't we freeze all those things that used to work that suddenly stop out? If the institutions are residential and the parents can come in once in a while to check their children, and they know that the security is in place within the institutions, that we guarantee the safety, that there will be a kind of monitoring where the children engagement will be absolute, that will not give room for such an experience or immature, a student to go wayward. That cannot be a factor or serious factor in now using the age to debar a young school leaver from getting admission into higher institution. It's a valid point, but I think it still has to do with the shortcomings we are talking about that has to be addressed.
Okay, all right. Thank you very much for that, sir. So now to Dr. Modele, what are your thoughts on the matter?
I just want to ask you.
Okay.
Who pays for the registration for these examinations? Like WAEC and NECO, who pay for these children? You know their parents, yes, but they are not the ones. Why is the federal government crying on them? The parents bear the burden of the educational completeness of these children. They pay for the tuition fee, bring the regime of examination, upkeep, and the rest. Federal government contributes nothing to it. Save the structures we reach here and there for the federally owned secondary schools. Save that, nothing else. The students will pay for their fee in some of these secondary schools. In the public school, the parents bear the burden. So, in what angle does the issue of writing examination by the children affect federal government or state government? To me, no. To the children attending private institutions, it is solely the responsibility of their parents. They pay exorbitant sum of money for these children to be persons in life. Federal government loses nothing about it. Then, aside from that, we have been clamoring that Nigerians should avoid Japa, or what they call Japanism. If this policy, if this policy of 18 years, minimum age to write NECO and exam comes to stick, take it or leave it. Some parents will take their children outside Nigeria, and that will also encourage Japanism. If you encourage it. But in order to decide it, Mr. Government, invite it back to what has been continuing for the past 10, 20 years to this year. That 18 years policy be released completely. Then you see, I said one fellow, I said, I like to know is the general's workshop. A child is in primary 4 who is solving mathematical problem, more than somebody is undergraduate in university. You cannot say such a child is so intelligent. You cannot say such a child is so clever. I do interact with young ones in secondary school, in Western primary school. When you see them say, how are you? How are you? What's the name of the teacher? 20 times 20. What is it? It is really marketers. Such a child is a very young. Now, when we are talking about maturity, what do we mean by maturity? Maturity is different from age. You can be 50 years old, you may not be mature. A person of 15 years old will be mature more than 30 years old. I say all this with you, don't use this. My personal interaction with students from KG level to postgraduate levels. And I use certain things from them. I interacted with them in secondary school welfare, I think DSS2. And I was asking her series of questions when it comes to mathematical problem, English language, literature, and the rest. And she was giving me perfectly correct answers. And I shook myself. But from which part of my life, she mentioned herself. I said, keep it up. So, such a child now, she should be around 12 or 11 now, 12 or 13 now. And she gets to the period she's supposed to write an examination. You don't say, your age is still 15, you can't write it. You are waiting 18 years. You are adding 3 years to my age. There is no good this is so. Then you see, all these people that are these policy makers, look at your age, your present age. Look at the age you enter secondary school. Look at the age you enter university. You wait for postgraduate. You get it from it. What was your age when you went to high? There was no way to that. What was your age? So please don't let Nigerians let us be careful with what we say. I have read it in some online, some media page. There are some associations, some bodies, they are saying that policy is good. That policy we use that is a bad policy for the development of our education system in this country.
Okay.
The reason is this. You see, I am not saying that all the students writing those exams, they are perfect. I am not saying that. But I am saying that in order to encourage them, we need to allow. Then example, in order to make our education to be standard, we need to allow them. In order to discourage their parenting, we need to allow them.
Okay, all right. So do you think that because if we look at, because even now the MEC chairman of Lagos State is actually agreeing with us on the fact that when it comes to maturity, when it comes to being wayward, someone who is less than 18 has higher chances of succumbing to yieldings of peers and all that. But do you think that instead of saying that it is outrightly bad, but perhaps the government could consider a clause for child proteges so that they will not just be wasting, they will not be wasting their precious time at home. In other climes, they have classes that is called advanced placement classes. So even if you are a junior in high school, that's secondary school, you could be taking classes of someone who could be in SS3 or someone who could even be in 100 level. Do you think that introduction of something like that might better engage the brains of these children proteges or child proteges? So instead of saying, just putting an embargo that everyone who is 18 years are the ones that should enter university, but there should be a clause for students who are exceptionally brilliant. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, if such a clause is a good one, but the determinant factor of that, I don't know how to determine. Well, that clause, I don't know how to determine. Because the fact that, let me tell you one thing, the fact that a student is in a particular class, maybe because you have three set of students. You have the high one, you have the middle one, you have the low one. The way you teach the low one is different from the way you teach the middle one. The way you teach the high one is different from the way you teach the middle one. So, the highly intelligent ones, they are highly intelligent. Before you teach something, they teach it 2 minutes. But the middle one will take like 2 days before they teach it up. That does not mean that the one that is low in the class will not make it in life. I can collect, when I was in secondary school, primary school, there are mates there. Those ones that are extraordinarily brilliant, you know where they have to be. And those ones that are not in our campus, you know where they have to be. When it comes to richness, we know where they are. When it comes to richness, we know where they are. So that is not the issue. What I'm saying is this, there shouldn't be any clause to me, personally, from the experience that they are showing learning to us. If the students have been assessed by the school, by the teachers who familiarize with them, it should be allowed to write the exam. If he passes the exam, good. If he passes, if he doesn't pass it, good. Now, then getting an admission to the university, then if he sits for the examination, he passes it, there is no need of denying such candidate. Let me tell you, there was, they call it UNU then, not UTNU. After a while, they got UTNU, they don't got post-UNU. You know that some of these children will sit for that UNU, they will get that mark. They will sit for post-UNU, they will also get that mark. Why do you want to deprive such a student? Shouldn't deprive them. You know, then they also get admission to university in the classes. They also excel. We don't need to deprive them. I can recollect, I was reading something on my list, I think 2 days ago. A particular student in one of the foreign countries had a PhD at the age of 17. When I said, what? I read that and said, so if such a thing that happened in the foreign countries, where this idea of sitting in the classes was brought to our land here, why can't we allow it? 17 years old, getting PhD. I think I also read it in Nigeria, had his PhD at the age of maybe 22, 25. I've read so many. You shouldn't be such kind of dangerous with this.
Okay, all right. And now to the NEC Chairman, Lagos State Chapter. What are your thoughts for special consideration for gifted children who have shown exceptional brilliance, even right from primary school to secondary school? Do you think there should be a special clause that the federal government could add so that they would not throw the baby away with the bathwater?
Because when I mentioned the issue of gifted children, you know, sometimes we wonder who are those people that constitute this policy making committee? How did they arrive at their decision? Don't they engage in a very critical analysis of situation before they make pronouncement? Otherwise, anybody at the table will have added some of these factors we are talking about. And even if we want to carry out or implement a policy, there is also need to look into the area of strategy. It is not about the policy itself. Strategy is also very, very important. That's why they say, you know, hence justify the means. So in that wise, I am still of the opinion, personally, I'm not talking for my organization now. I am talking as an educator, I'm talking as a parent, and I'm talking as a practitioner, that you know, we have to, you know, take up strategies. Nobody is actually wrong from the either side of the divide. Nobody is absolutely wrong. What we need to get right is to analyze all these issues holistically and come up with a strategy that will make it win-win affair in such a way that we will not say in the course of protecting the interests of these children, we are also, you know, making effort to mark their future. No, it is never done. We can start afresh that right from those who are going to enroll into primary school now, it becomes a law, and we track them so that we see those who are already in the system through based on their capacity. So, and that is a gradual way of reforming a society, not just coming within the middle of the game and just say, oh, the law you have abandoned. Where were you? Must the government now be talking about one of these laws that has been abandoned over here? Who are actually responsible for that? You know, because it is dangerous for our system. I want to bring up one principle in science. We call it the Chatelier's principle. I think it's in physics, that when you alter a system, the system will tend to adjust itself to accommodate the alteration. That means when you try to effect a change that will be inimical to the people, they will still find themselves, you know, to adjust and still ensure that what they have in mind is done. It is a time we collaborate with people, we view issues from their own point of angle, we try to educate them, and come up with strategy that will be acceptable to all. That's just my own position.
Dr. Odili, you see, in Nigeria education, we cannot totally displace the position of examination malpractices because we see cases where young children of even 14 or 15 passing WAEC, passing NECO, and when you get to the root of it, you find that most of them, they go to the special centers to write this examination. So if the issue of brilliance is put forth, it could easily be justified that after all, this child had straight A's or A's and B's in their exam. But meanwhile, that is a product of examination malpractice. So how do we go about addressing that? Because if you are saying that as long as you're brilliant, you should go to the university, what are the things that we need to do to checkmate this so that we will not be putting the wrong people into these classes?
It is the government that needed to be checkmated properly. You see, the reason is, if you don't measure the special center, I'm not aware of that special center. Who gave the special center licenses and permission to operate? Is it not the government? Who supervises those centers? Is it not the government? Please don't let us go to the animal at all. If it is the government, that means the government is part and parcel of what is happening here. So if it is the government that will check they give licenses, they know what to do. The examination, all the examination bodies, they have what they call invigilating teams. They make the reports. They know what to do. They know the penalty to be rendered on the candidate that is found to have involved in such a crime. They know what to do. So you will not, because of that, to go and try the career of a particular gifted candidate and say, go away for the next 3 years. It is so hard. Let me tell you, sir. You see, when you propose a policy in the mind, this is what I want to do. Don't carry that policy down. Make consultations with public school, private school, stakeholders, retirees. You are able to get the best. Now, when you just say everybody is below 18 years, they are allowed to sit for NECO and WAEC. Such a thing. So what ought to have happened is this. What ought to have happened is this. You may have the policy. Train people. Seek for public opinion. You know what I mean? Okay, what about the candidates who are already preparing to write the exam maybe next year? Then those candidates have to wait for another 3 years. It is unfair.
Okay, all right. When we started the discussion, you mentioned why the government is reacting to what should have been the issue of the parents, since they were not paying the school. But now let us look at the cases of ambitious parents, the ones who want to push their unfulfilled dreams of their children. And then we also have cases like this where children are unnecessarily rushed into adulthood, where they should still be enjoying their childhood. And then we see adults like this with these psychological issues that they will call, some might even say childhood traumas. We have some therapists right now who would advocate for people to heal their inner child because of thoughts that came from their parents rushing these children too much. Of course, a lot of things go into this. But let us look at the area too of parents that needs to be checked too. Because if we are looking at this issue of 8 years, we see some parents that from 2 years, they want their kids out of the house. They just want them in school. Some, it's like bragging rights of them when they are with their friends. Say, oh no, my child is in this now, my child is in that now. How do we go about addressing that? What is the
percentage of these children to be commoners? What is the percentage? It is 20%. That percentage is 20% in this city. The persons who suffer, who labor to ensure their children go to school, it's of 80%. Those ones who are measuring, okay, 18 years, what about the man goes here and move on to America? Or the moon, they go to school, they don't come back to Nigeria. They used to come back here and they produce those certificates. They really employ them in Nigeria before they employ Nigeria university graduates. Then what are you talking about? And we are saying we want to develop this country, educationally, medically, scientifically, and everything. Now we make the policy that we encourage the parents to go for millions of dollars and make sure that the children will travel out of the country for educational purposes. It will not encourage development in terms of education. There are ways government can checkmate all these atrocities. Committees will be set up, local, state, federal. Seek for your approval, all of our strategy. It will be properly checked. But when we make policy, there will no favor from set of people. No set of people will also use another way out. The way out encouragement of their part. You just say, where is Jonah? Jonah is not schooling in how would you see? That is there.
Who knows? It could also spawn parents.
No, that is not the issue. The parents you are talking about. What is the percentage of those parents? That is the question I asked. What is the percentage? You want to tell me that a parent who is in equal equity will do that? A child who neighbors, a parent's neighbor to go to school and is reading very well, gets to that stage, you not proceed to go around the examination. Such a child will never be happy and will not do such an administration.
Well, Dr. Wade, if you look at cases like people who came from those areas, people like that, we don't see they are 14 years old or 15 years old.
That was before. These days, 50, 60, you see them there.
All right.
But what is the level of the candidate that has the highest mark to JAMB? What is so? I'm just saying that such a candidate did not have the examination transparently.
Okay,
the candidate has the best right to go. What is the
same? Thank you so much, Dr. Wade. Sadly, we have run out of time. We thank you so much for being with us to the very end of Firecrackers today. Many thanks to Comrade Azam Akintoye, NEC Chairman, Lagos State, who joined us live from Lagos. We thank you so much. And Dr. Imodele, thank you so much.
I thank the viewers at home and the listeners. I thank you all. I see the month of September and the other months will be of blessings to all of us.
Okay, all right. So see you same time, same station next week. My name is Iribani Sarako. Have a wonderful September. Goodbye.